that's definitely red wine. Definitely. But is it paint? Not really. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more fun. Oh, I'm joking. I'm gonna make it paint, whether it likes it or not. And just because I'm painting with wine, an alcoholic substance, doesn't mean I'm gonna make immature jokes and pretend to drink or get drunk. I'm past that. I've grown out.
Bonjour! It is me, a French Jazza. A long time no see, huh?
You know, look, I just thought I'd give you a buzz because I'm painting with red wine today. I thought if anyone could help me, I'm gonna regret this, aren't I?
Oh, red wine, you say? My expertise, eh? What year, what make are you working with?
Oh, look, I was just going for the darkest color, I think, a Shiraz. But it doesn't go down very dark, and I want to figure out how to paint really well with red wine.
No, you're thinking about it all the wrong way. When I paint with red wine, I take turns. One for me, one for you, one for me, one for the art, eh? Then, by the end, everything looks magnifique.
I mean, I'm not planning on really drinking it. Otherwise, I won't have anything to paint with.
Oh, well, it looks like you already know exactly what you're doing. What use am I, eh? You will come crawling back.
All right, cool. I'll let you know if I get stuck. God, he's so obnoxious. Okay, so in my immediate first brushstroke, as you can see, there's not a lot that sort of happens. You have to lay it on thick for anything to really show. Do you know what's interesting too, is the color has changed too. So like when I put it down here, it's like a rosy pink. Whereas when it's dry, it's got lavender. And my theory is I can build this up. So if I wanted to just paint with red wine, I could, like watercolors, do it in layers and let it build up and dry. And then I could make some marks and maybe make something cool, which I think I'll try and do, but I think the smarter thing to do would be to boil or somehow remove more of the water from this so that more of the wine grape substance thing, the pigment, is left. I want to solidify what's in here and remove the water. We do that, in theory, by evaporating it.
Have you seen anyone else do this before?
I have not seen anyone else do this before. All right. How's this work? Did it come with an instruction manual?
I don't think it's got gas in there.
That's very good. That's a very good.
It's gas.
That's a very good point, Garrett. Oh, there's a gap. Ha 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 ha. Gotcha. There you go. Now, there we go. Oh! We got fire, okay. Now in theory, apparently, it only takes 10 minutes to what they call reduce the red wine. So I'm gonna let it reduce quite a bit. I'm not gonna go full reduction, I'm gonna go halfway, and then later I'm gonna go extreme. I wanna see how dense and dry I can get the red wine pigment. But while I wait for that to get started, I'm gonna see how far I can get with no reduction. This is my dabble with just red wine. It does more than I expected, I gotta be honest. That's 2 layers and it's reasonably workable. It's like crappy watercolor. Wouldn't recommend it, but maybe it gets better. So let's compare the color and color density of the red wine we've been painting with our reduced red wine. In fact, let's do this on a clean white backdrop. Ooh, it looks thicker, smells thicker. Oh, it smells like Christmas markets in England. Mulled wine, oh my God. A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of orange. Immediately darker. And there's more volume of the red wine that is untouched as opposed to the reduced red wine. But even though there's less, it's obviously much more dense in pigment, which is super cool. I don't know if I need to cool it down before I use it, but I'm too curious to not just go for it. You ready? How much more control does this? Actually, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's just like a more solidified watercolor, but it's definitely easy to work with. And when you get like a thicker little blob like that, that's pretty cool. Not bad for a double. Pretty chuffed with that. Again, just red wine. But this time I added one last layer with the reduced red wine, which I only worked on for 10 minutes, and that worked really well, which tells me it's time to dive. I am gonna reduce, you know what, let's go for it. Let's go to town. I wanna see how reduced I can make this. And in diving into this, I'm gonna take this as far as I can. I wanna get this to be as solidified, as reduced as possible to get the darkest red wine pigments possible. And I think while we wait on that and plan our next piece, I could get a little bit of feedback from an expert.
Oh, look who has come crawling back, eh? Coming for my good graces.
I've been meaning to ask, I can't tell, are you French or German?
German? Why would you think I am German?
I didn't know, well, your accent just sounds, it sounds mixed. It's fine. It's very, as French as you get, it's fine.
It's French as the fries and baguettes. I am French, not German.
Look, I don't want to get into an argument. I'm actually here because I would love your feedback. What do you think of my artwork? Again, this was made with just red wine.
Mediocre at best. Derivative. I would say keep trying. You have potential, but you need passion in your art. How many pictures have you seen of, oh, a little pretty girl looking contemplative? You need something with real fire.
All right. What would you suggest, Mr. I know everything about art and wine?
There is no story more intense and passionate than that of Sorcière Divine.
Sorcière Divine. I think I have a plan. I'm going to reduce this as much as I can, and then I'm going to create an authentic piece of passionate art as recommended by French Jazza about Sorcière Divine, whatever that means. I mean, maybe the best thing to do is get French Jazza to tell the story of Sorcière Divine in his own words.
When I was a boy, my mother used to warn me against running around in local vineyards. She used to say, if you run into the vineyard, Sorcière Divine will snatch you up and make wine with you. For you see, a long time ago in a small town in the south of France, there was a vineyard famous for its bold red wine. So beautiful was the taste of this wine, so addictive its qualities, that many of the other winemakers were jealous, but they were too afraid of the mistress who ran the winery to attempt to discover the secret of her wine. She was known as Sorcière Divine, the hag of the vine, for she was tall like a giant and menacing in her expression, and would chase off those who attempted to spy and discover the grapes or methods she used to produce her wine. It became apparent over time that when children from the village had disappeared, this had been during the harvest season, and when Sorcière Divine's famous wine was produced. The townspeople gathered together with their torches and marched upon Sorcière Divine with pitchforks and knives and forced their way into her winery to discover her dark secret. Each barrel of wine for every year she harvested also bore the name of the child that had disappeared. It turned out the vibrant red color of her wine and the rich flavor came not only from the grapes, but from the children she had snatched. The townspeople burned Sorcière Divine within her own house, but nobody has dared walk the lanes of her vineyard ever since, for it is said that she was a demon and still walks among her vines, searching for naughty children who run around in her vineyard.
So if the question was, can you paint with wine? I think the answer is if you reduce it enough and thicken it up enough, yeah. And it's a little like painting with the watercolors, probably more like what I would imagine painting with blood is like. It's sort of slightly congealing. And I think it's a pretty good medium for capturing a mood. Je ne sais quoi, as they say. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Let's see if French Jazza thinks I've captured the mood. Hey FJ, what do you reckon of my Sorcière Divine?
Oh, Ah, that is it! This is the masterpiece I was hoping you would create! Well done! I sent a bottle your way. This is a very special wine, if you catch my drift.
Wait, was that you? This thing that arrived the other day? You said, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much.
Oui, and this is so perfect and on topic. This is from the harvest of Saucier Divine.
Didn't you say she was a murderer?
Don't worry about that. That's neither here nor there. She makes the best wine. You must try. It's amazing.
I mean, it's just a story. It's very nice of him to send a bottle of wine. It'd be a shame to let it go to waste. Ooh. That is very dark. Oh my god, that is so good! Ingredients.